Hello and welcome to another episode of Emma Explores Everything, the bi-weekly podcast where I talk about everything from A to Z, literally. This week, I'm talking about Exxxotica. If you don't know what Exxxotica is a expo, convention, etc. that is for the adult industry, and it does have a lot of mainstream people in it, but it also majority has independent artists like myself. Anybody can go, they can buy a booth as long as they've done some work in the industry, whether that be OnlyFans, mini-vids, whatever, studio work. You can buy a booth and it will be perfect. It will be perfect. I don't know what I'm saying. So, I have a lot that I can say and that I maybe should or should not say. So, I'm going to try to be a good girl in this video, but we'll see. I guess I should start with my first ever Exxxotica. Now, I don't exactly know who was the first person to be like, hey, are you going to Exxxotica? But once I started doing work, I did my first scene with Plumper Pass, and then I started getting a lot of people rolling into my DMs wanting to collaborate with me. And a lot of them were like, hey, are you going to be going to Exxxotica, New Jersey? You know, a lot of people are going to be there. You can do a lot of collaboration, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but sure, maybe I will. I looked into it and I was like, great. It's like a 3-day expo. You know, you can go, you can meet your favorite stars, blah, blah, blah. It'll be a great opportunity for me to network. So the first year I went as a fan. I got the VIP package, and I'll say, as somebody who's now frequented the event, do I think a VIP package is worth it? I did the VIP Couples X package with my boyfriend. So you're supposed to do all of these like meet and greets with other couples. It's like a swinging thing. I just got it because it was a little bit cheaper. But I'll say, like, as far as like the couples lifestyle event part of it goes, it's pretty I don't know, it's low key. It's just not all it's cracked up to be. I know that you can get into the bar area with the VIP wristband depending on what city you're in. Some places don't have alcohol, but that also is kind of weird because you just have to stand in this one little area. You can't walk around with your booze, and like, I don't know, I don't want to just sit there and drink. I want to walk around and drink and have a good time. So that part of it isn't really great to me. Basically, if you want a free t-shirt, get the VIP. It also gets you into the after parties when they have them. Most of the after parties are at strip clubs, so you get like free admission into the strip club, or they in the past have done hotel after parties at where all the talent is staying. And I don't know if they're doing that anymore because there's been a lot of issues that I will talk about probably later. But my first time going, other than it being 2021, so it was like the first thing back after the pandemic had kind of started to slow down, so it was a little quiet, but there was still a lot of talent there, a lot of people there. So I definitely got to meet a lot of cool people. I did like 3-4 scenes that weekend. I was introduced to BoobTube, who runs the BBW fashion show for Exxxotica. So I got to do all of that, and I feel that was pretty cool. And it kind of kickstarted a lot of my current relationships where I am. So I am really thankful for Exxxotica for that. Now, this whole weekend, I was just me as like a civilian with my boyfriend. I was still dressed hot, but I wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't porn star hot, you know what I mean? So I feel like I didn't really experience the real Exxxotica. What it's like to be a woman at Exxxotica by yourself. So I want to get into that. But first, if God willing, if I remember to edit this properly, I will put some video of first Exxxotica here. Some highlights. Da, 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 dream sequence. That was a good time. I got a lot of good pictures. A lot of pictures I can't really put up on YouTube because they'll age restrict me. They probably will age restrict this video anyway. Whatever. Second time I went to Exxxotica was the very first year that they did Exxxotica DC. Exxxotica DC, the best location for Exxxotica because you're literally... The hotel that you stay at, the host hotel, is right next to the convention center. You can literally walk there in 5 minutes. There is 100 restaurants around you. I love Exxxotica DC's location. I wish that we could do every Exxxotica in DC. That being said, this was the first time that I did the BBW fashion show with iHeartBBW and BoobTube, and it was a lot of fun. I did burlesque. I was obsessed with burlesque that year, so I did a lot of burlesque numbers, a lot of tassel twirling. You catch my drift. I will try to put up some pictures of that as well at the end of this. It was a really good time, but this is like the time that I realized, like, oh, it's different when I don't have a bodyguard with me. I remember I drove to a restaurant, picked up food to bring back to my hotel because it was like a full day of being at the convention, and I was so tired I just wanted to eat in my room. And going up, this guy was like, hey, what you got? You know, just like small talk. What are you eating? Oh, well, that looks good. You'll have to let me know how it is, blah, blah, blah. And it just so happened, like, we got off on the same floor as each other. And I was like, okay, cool. See you later. This is my room. Bye. Well, about 45 minutes later, he calls my room to talk to me about how my food was. He asked me about the convention, if I was, like what it was, why everybody was dressed like that, and about my experiences in the industry, which the conversation wasn't inappropriate. It was fine. I do feel like calling my room was a little bit scary. Like, it was a choice. And was that a choice he should have made? No. I feel, if you're a guy and you're watching this, under no circumstances should you take note of a woman's room number and call her. Life is not a rom-com. We will be scared of you. But I also, you know, I met a lot of cool people. I did my very first, like, semi-impromptu photo shoot with my friend Curvy Mary and her boyfriend, who is a photographer. I met my friend Autumn. I just met a lot of friends that time, and I felt like I was actually becoming a part of, like, a community of entertainers, and it wasn't just like this isolated incident. Now, Exxxotica, the convention, was so fun. I would say the after parties were not so great. This was the first after party where I was by myself, and I definitely got cornered by some guys who were very handsy, and there's very minimal security, or there was for me, so it was very scary. And the crowd was in such a confined small space that I just really felt like trapped, like I couldn't get out. I had to, like, push through the crowd and run to get away from these dudes. And I just, like, went back to my room. So in that way, like, I don't feel like the space is very welcoming for adult talent because there's not really anybody there making sure that we're okay. And, like, when the fans can come and alcohol's involved, it gets kind of scary kind of fast. So that was the last after party that I went to by myself. I will not probably ever go back. But I don't want it to make it seem like the whole experience of Exxxotica was bad. I did really have a good time. And we'll have another dream sequence here to show you my time at Exxxotica DC 2021. So, my first ever time having a booth at Exxxotica was Exxxotica Chicago 2022. I can't believe it's almost been a year. And Exxxotica Chicago was great. I had my boyfriend with me to be my little booth helper. So, honestly, I had very little drama. I just, it was really awesome to have a space to call my own, my home base. I could leave my stuff there. I didn't have to worry about it. I could sit down. And it was surprising how many people were actually interested in me. A lot of people came up, talked, blah, blah, blah. And that was my first ever time doing my over-the-shoulder boulder holder, which I probably cannot post pictures on YouTube, but I'll tell you, I put my breasts on this pink device that goes over their shoulders, and they take a picture, and it's fun because, oh, her boobs are so big, they can hang over my shoulders, hilarious. But people loved it, and I was shocked by how many people came up and they got their pictures with me because of that. So that started like this obsession with me wanting to do like gimmicks. I wanted to do gimmicks because everybody there is selling pictures of themselves. Everybody there is selling OnlyFans subscriptions. Everybody there is, it's like the same merch. And if you're doing the same thing as everybody else, why are they going to stop with you? Especially if you're not exactly the type of person that they like, which I am not the body type that everybody likes, and that's fine. I don't want to be, but I do want to make the money back that I spent on my booth. So, I went to Miami after that in the summertime, and I want to say, why does anybody ever have a convention in Miami in the summertime? It was so hot. It was so sweaty. I barely remember anything because, honestly, it was just like a weird time. People wanted to see Instagram models. They did not care for BBW. In fact, a lot of my BBW friends were not there. They do not go. And I will not be going in the future because, I don't know, like I made the least money and I had the worst time because it was just so fucking hot. I lived in Florida for 24 years and I never, ever want to go back to that heat, humidity, sweat, everything. No, thank you. Not a fan. Not a fan. So that was Miami. And then I went to New Jersey again. And that was like, I did this whole seafood theme. And Jersey was bumpin'. Here's some pictures from Jersey. And then I did DC again, which was maybe my most successful time because I feel like I finally really got my signage down. I got everything that I needed, and people of all shapes, sizes, and everything were coming up to me to get pictures with the over-the-shoulder boulder holder, to ask me questions about what I do. So I really feel like I have got the convention scene down. Now, as far as like going to future Exxxoticas, now that I've done a full year of having booths at every single one, I feel like it's time to start cutting down. I spent almost $20,000 on travel in 2022. And that's a lot. That's a lot. So I want to, I don't know, I just can't handle that big number. So I want to like dial that back. I think 2023, I'm skipping Chicago and Miami simply because I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel, and I definitely don't want to travel alone. And those are like the hardest two places to get to. You have to fly. Now, Jersey and DC, I can drive to. So I feel better about that. And I feel I could convince my boyfriend more to go to those because, like, Jersey, he could just drive to work afterwards if he wants to. I don't know. This is between me and him. I don't know. Let me talk to you about his work schedule, right? But as far as, like, going to every single one. I just don't think that's in my future anymore. Because one, I don't get a lot of collaboration work done when I'm there. I don't do a lot of collaboration anymore, so I don't feel it's like necessary for me to be there. And when you're there, you just get so exhausted. You cancel half the shoots. You're wasting money on your testing. So I think I will just do Jersey and DC this year. I think overall I will be traveling much less in 2023. I think I'm only going to do XBiz Miami in May, so it's not too hot. I will do Why Not LA in October. I will do Exxxotica New Jersey in October, and I will do Exxxotica DC in December. And I think that is it. That is all the travel. And if you see me going anywhere else, get on my butt, because I need to stay home and focus on working. So these are my DC and no. So this is my Exxxotica story. It's pretty short. I am really thankful, though, to Exxxotica. I feel like I've gotten a lot of opportunities because of the people that I've met at Exxxotica. I wouldn't know Kimmy Kaboom. I wouldn't know Busty Beauty. I wouldn't know BoobTube. I wouldn't know Autumn Heart. I wouldn't know Curvy Mary. Like, all of my friends I would not have met if I never went to Exxxotica, if I never got myself comfortable in the convention scene. So yeah, I feel really thankful, and I'm glad. And there's a lot of kinks that can be worked out of Exxxotica, definitely. And I think they are improving. Like, DC had no after party this year, and I think it's because they know that there's too much going on at these parties with too little security. My idea for them, which I've told them, is have a separate area for exhibitors and talent to go in where the fans can't go in. So the exhibitors and the models can come out, they can hang out with fans, but when it gets too hairy and they get too confident and comfortable touching, we can back up, we can go get a drink behind the red ribbon or whatever and relax, and then they can still see us. We could still like put on fun little shows where we're like flirting with our friends and getting our boobies out with pasties on, of course. But it wouldn't have to be something where we feel so guarded, I think. So that would be my recommendation. I hope that they do in the future, because really Exxxotica is a great time, and this is like the one thing that's kind of like a blight on the experience. So I think that they'll figure it out. I do. I have a lot of hope for them, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to do DC and New Jersey every year. I do want to get back to Chicago. I really did enjoy Chicago. It's just, I don't like to be on an airplane and be in a hotel room by myself. Like, traveling gets really lonely, you guys. I think it like can look really glamorous, but it's exhausting going from place to place and living out of a suitcase and not seeing your cats. So I am really feeling happy and comfortable with my choices. I don't feel a lot of like FOMO about it. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. So thank you once again for joining me today. Please let me know if you have any other topics for the rest of the alphabet. I will probably be halfway through, so give me some ideas for the tail end of our lovely alphabet. All right, bye-bye.